So this is a little short video of me playing Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, and the game basically feels like essentially kind of like I want to say a sequel to Castlevania 3 for the NES, but there is a sequel to Castlevania 3 for the NES. It's all called Super Castlevania 4, but whatever. This game's pretty good. I'm not going to show my full amount of time playing this game, but I'm just going to tell you, well, about the topic. The general topic of today is people who have this abnormal love affair with games that are, how can I put this, physical only. So I'll get into why that's kind of a problem after the cut. So basically, here's what I have to say about this. A lot of people are like, well, I'm only going to buy this game if it's physical. And, I mean, there are some legitimate reasons, in my opinion, to want something physical, games physical. One of the big ones for me is, if a game is a franchise that's kind of like difficult to translate in a more of a nice way. For example, let's say you're playing something that's just not going to work on a physical plane. And there's been games like that, right? Like, if you live someplace that has shitty internet connections, like Australia or New Zealand, yeah, I could understand someone being like, okay, this game, I have to get this game physical. Because I know quite a few people who live in places that have shitty internet, and their upload speeds, their download speeds are ridiculous. I mean, what they're paying for, what they get and what they're paying for is just shit. So, I mean, I could understand someone saying, okay, if you're in those circumstances, it takes forever for me to download a game. My internet sucks, so even if I have a connection, it's an online game, it's gonna be shit. Fine then, physical only. If you're a collector, and when I say collector, I don't mean you prefer physical, I mean you literally collect games, then yeah, it makes sense for you to have physical games. But the problem is that a lot of people don't do that. They they have this love affair. It's like, well, I'm not going to buy this digital game unless it's physical. And to those people, I only have one thing to say. The reason you get physical games is because the digital game sold well. That's why you have, if Shovel Knight didn't sell well digitally, there wouldn't have been a physical release. And there are tons of indie games that sold okay, but not well enough for them to get a physical release. So people need to stop being like, well, if it's not this, it's not going to be anything else. Because, I mean, that's just kind of, the attitude comes across as petulant. And the thing is that, this is a product. And, I mean, the margins aren't razor thin, but typically speaking, the games that you're going to be wanting, well, I wish this was physical, are going to be games that are essentially made by indies. And these people don't have a lot of money. They might be making a game on margins. They might have mortgaged their house or something like that in order to get this game made. So they're not going to have, all this stuff. Like I said, typically speaking, when you're talking about indie games, if you want to see the game basically turn out a certain way, you're basically going to have to get physical release, you're going to have to, it's going to have to sell a certain amount digitally. So people just need to, people need to calm the hell down, okay? Because you're just not going to get, I mean, you gotta, I mean, you can afford to be like, well, I'm not going to get this game unless it's physical. If you're talking about a AAA or AA release, makes sense. If you're talking indie games, you're just going to have to take what you can get if you really want that game. Because a lot of times, if you're going to wait until there's a physical release, you're going to be waiting forever, or the game's never going to reach that point. Nothing wrong with that, but that's just how it is. That being said, let's move on to the second topic after the cut. Okay then, so here we go with another Microsoft and Rare story. The numbers are in, and Sea of Thieves is a critically it's a mediocre game, but commercially it has not sold very well. So this was the game that Rare was like, this game has to do well or we're fucked. And I think we can now say that Rare is fucked. It's a shame, but I mean, this is what we get when we go with Microsoft and their need to not understand how the gaming industry works and to do shady fucking shit. It's just really, really fucking bad. And I mean, I feel bad about it because, like I said, I like Rare, or at least let me rephrase that. I like old Rare. Current Rare fucking sucks. Rare, when they were bought by Microsoft, went to shit, and I mean, it's sad. It's sad that Rare has become the shit show that it is. Rare shouldn't be this way. Rare should be, fucking awesome like they used to, but, Microsoft doesn't know how to run a gaming company. And I don't know, like, the people are like, man, Xbox is gonna be awesome. Microsoft has never known how to run a gaming company. Microsoft runs a software company. That's what they do. Hardware and supporting the hardware is not their thing. Okay? Software is their thing. Selling you some shit that you don't need over and over and over again, that's their thing. They don't give a shit about other things. I don't know why you people expected Microsoft to know how to run a gaming company. And you also have to factor in that these are the same, these are the people like, yeah, we learned everything we know about the gaming industry from Sega. Really? Those motherfuckers that almost went bankrupt? That's who you're using as your role models? Well, shit, no wonder Microsoft sucks. Like, I might not like Sony, but they're up to their fourth console. Nintendo's up to their sixth. Let's see, NES, Famicom, Super Famicom, N64, GameCube, Wii U, Switch. Seventh. They're up to their seventh console. Okay, up to their, let's see, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, fifth handheld. Well, technically, if you add in the Game Watch, there were 2 series of that. So that's seven handhelds, 7 home consoles. Those motherfuckers know how to be in the business. Sega, look, they had like 3 iterations of the original Master System. The first one was almost like an Atari clone. And then you had like the 2 other Master Systems that were like, the second one was like kind of like an NES clone. The third one was the Master System that we got here in America. Then you have the Genesis, that's 4. The CD sucked. The MSX sucked. The Saturn did well in Japan, sucked everywhere else. And then the Dreamcast. I mean, basically each generation with their home console, it got progressively worse. That's who you're fucking listening to with your business advice? Someone who basically damn near went bankrupt? Really? Are you fucking retarded? And I mean that as a pejorative, even though there's nothing wrong with people who are mentally handicapped. It's just Sega, Jesus. If Sega's your role model, you're fucked. It's like, my role model is the guy who cheated on his wife and fucking didn't take care of his kids or anything. That's my role model. Well, shit, you have bad taste. But whatever. That's just how I feel about this whole, well, it's not that bad. Yeah, it is. So tell me what you think about Sega, Microsoft, and Sea of Thieves, and Rare. Do you think Rare can make it out of this one? I don't. I don't at all. Oh, and tell me if you would like for there to be a Memorial Day cast. Might put that together. So, that being said, that's the end of this video. Thank you, and have a good day. Oh snap, I forgot. This Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing a podcast. And the BS Busters as per usual. And once again, if you're interested in doing some other things, let me know if you're interested in a Memorial Day podcast, if you care, want to have one. Thank you. Have a good day.